We're supposed to be friends, and I'm airing the dirty laundry that is our relationship on the podcast. It's the Groove Junction. We are back for another episode of the DJ's podcast, the Groove Junction. My name's DJ Matty F, and I am one half of the hosting panel that is on the Groove Junction. The main man himself, the number 2 in the hot seat tonight, and has been for the last 43 weeks. Please give it up for DJ John Colley.
Love that. I'm number 2, but I'm twice the size of you. How's that work?
For that reason, you're number 2. There you go. How are you, John?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Yeah, really good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm okay. We're gonna have a little bit of a chat, but yeah, I've not been myself. I've said a few things on social media recently. I've not particularly been great, but we'll get into that, and I just want to sort of explain what's been going on. But before we do that, as always, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, or whenever you are listening to this podcast. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for finding us. This is episode 44. There's 43 behind, and we've got quite a few more ahead of us to come. Definitely 100%. This is the Groove Junction. You can find us on all your podcast providers, YouTube and Spotify video player is also where you can also get to see us as well. But I just want to say a big shout out to everyone that has been continuing to show the support, the comments that keep coming in, especially over the last few weeks, actually. The interview that we had with Simon from Wolf Mix, the interview that we had with Jay Cunning, DJ Jay Cunning, was great, and the feedback's brilliant. We love to hear it, love to see it. So as always, please contact us in any way, which way you feel that you want to get in contact with us. Please do so. But yes, as always, we are going to dive straight into the Rundown, which is sponsored by Pro Mobile Magazine.
The Groove Junction Rundown is sponsored by Pro Mobile Magazine, the magazine that's got it all. It's a game changer. They don't just do surface-level reviews, they dive deep with real practical insights. And the interviews? They feature some heavy hitters sharing seriously valuable advice. But it's not just about DJ gear. They cover everything. Marketing techniques, and even the latest tech trends like AI, which is super relevant right now. Honestly, if you're serious about your DJ career, you need to check them out. And here's the best part, we've got an exclusive deal just for the Groove Junction listeners. You can subscribe right now by searching Pro Mobile Magazine and hitting the subscribe button. Just use our special code, GroovePMSUB, for a 25% discount on your first year's subscription, which is 6 magazines delivered to your door. That's Pro Mobile Magazine. Don't miss out.
Thank you, Pro Mobile Magazine. John, as always, what have you been up to?
Oh, you're so super excited today.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so what have I been up to? Silent Disco on Friday. I did a Silent Disco on Friday. That was in Ely Cathedral.
I booked you. Yeah.
You did, yep. I was with Brad and Nicolette, and night is like really good. Yeah, love that. And then Saturday, I was doing an 80s themed birthday party down at the local pub.
80s themed?
Yeah, so it was just literally 80s, literally all
well, okay, I know what that is. If it's an 80s themed, you're going to be playing 80s music.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just confirming that it was an 80s night that you said.
Yes, it was an 80s night.
Lovely.
Yeah, so I did that, and it was really good. The commute was a bit of a drag, a bit of a slog, but, you know.
That 49 seconds.
Yeah, I had to give way as well at the end of the road, so it's nearer 55.
What
a killer.
Okay, so in comparison then, in comparison to your 55-second commute from your front door to your gig on Saturday, my commute from my front door to my venue on Saturday was 4 hours and 52 minutes.
Wow.
Returning journey was a little bit quicker. I managed to shave that down to 4 hours and 5 minutes on the return.
That's a long drive. That's like, wow. 8 hours in the car.
Yeah, mate.
And you was on your own. No passengers.
It's the way it is.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Do you play games with yourself, like as you going on, like how many Eddie Stowbar lorries you can find, or anything like that? You know, red car, no.
No games, no games.
Boring.
But yeah, I know.
Well, at least when I'm in the car, we look for planes.
Well, you don't even know where Heathrow is when we drive past it, John.
I do now.
Well, you do now when I pointed it out.
Yeah.
When I pointed it, yeah. So I had a private function that I did. It was a primary school parents association summer party.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Really good. It was a really good night. I'm going to go into a bit more detail when we get out the rundown on what happened in it, but it was a really good night. It was a night that I needed, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I needed that. And then on Saturday, I headed down to the southwest, and we did silent disco 80s style. So you did 80s in your local boozer.
In the local boozer.
In the local public house, and I did an 80s night down in Truro Cathedral, down in Cornwall. First time we've done Truro Cathedral in the 3 and a bit years we've been going. So it's quite an important gig. 1,000 people. Loved it. It was a good night. I think everyone enjoyed it. Once again, energy was there, which is what it's all about.
Yeah,
Bring the energy.
That's it, man.
So yeah, that's pretty much what happened this weekend.
Yeah. Same with me, really. I mean, it's just those 2 gigs. That was enough. It was enough.
That's all you needed.
Yeah, mate, it's all you needed.
What more do you need?
What more do you need? It was good. It was good fun. Enjoyed it. So
yeah, good stuff.
And I'm glad you enjoyed yours.
Yeah, I did totally. And I'm going to explain a little bit more because there's quite a bit of depth behind my gig, which we'll mention when we get out of the rundown. Let's get out of the rundown.
Let's get out the rundown.
Let's drop the rundown. Thanks, Pro Mobile, for sponsoring the rundown.
Thank you, Pro Mobile.
Right, John. So I'm gonna dive into my gig on Friday. Or should I go back and give a little bit of a backstory in relation? In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and give a little bit of a backstory in relation to why I needed a really good gig on Friday. So, everyone knew last week or the week before I was on holiday. Felt like I really needed to switch off from everything. It was really nice seeing family out in Spain. I've got family out in Spain, so it was really nice getting out to see them. I came back and I felt really drained. Constantly whilst off thinking about silent disco stuff, my own business side of stuff, my own real job work stuff. Everything was just boiling up, and I felt that I couldn't really switch off when I was on holiday. Yeah, it was nice to have a couple of rounds of golf with my dad and stuff like that. It was all good, but coming back, I didn't feel refreshed. And I just felt it get a little bit on top of me. And it's the first time I've ever done this, where I actually got on and I posted a story going, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the stress. I had a few messages from a few people, which was nice, who reached out to me just to check on me, which is super. I'm massively grateful for that. I've said it on this podcast previously. Actually, I think probably episodes 2 or 3 right at the beginning that I have previously suffered with some anxiety previously a few years back. But I felt and started to see the signs of that. And if I'm totally honest with you, I'm getting to a point where, and I'd like to know if people feel the same. I think this time of year, there's a lot of pressure on mobile DJs in particular. A lot more gigs are happening. A lot more things are happening wedding-wise and all this sort of stuff. And there's additional pressures and, all of this added into it. And yeah, I just was feeling a little bit the weight of the world. And I don't want to try and bring the pod down in any way, shape, or form, but I think it's just something that I need to highlight. And with my normal work, coming back, I knew that I was going around the country with work, and I was delivering some well-being sessions with my work to our staff. And it only dawned on me probably midweek of that week, so last week, that actually when you're talking about well-being and looking after yourself, I'm not in a great place. So I'm standing up delivering presentations to people, and I'm pointing out all of this stuff around burnout and identifying burnout. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. And if people didn't know this, there's actually 5 stages, or five phases of burnout. And not to go into mass details about what that looks like, but so stage 1 is like a honeymoon period. You've started a new job, you're doing something new, and everything's great, and you're really enjoying it, and you're throwing all your weight into that. And I think during that period of time, then you start taking on a little bit more here, and you take on a bit of responsibility there, and things start progressing over a short period. Well, not a short period of time, a bit more time, and that's when the onset of stress starts to kick in with somebody, which is ultimately the second phase. So that onset of stress starts to appear, and then ultimately from that you then start to get, unless you recognize that, then chronic stress starts coming, which is like the third phase. And when that chronic stress comes on, that's that point where you are becoming really overwhelmed, and your physical and mental strain is now starting to get really exhausted, and you find it really difficult to concentrate, and your mood changes and other bits and pieces. And then the fourth stage is burnout. And burnout is that you are complete exhaustion. You're at that emotional detachment from certain things. And then the fifth final stage is habitual burnout. And habitual burnout is like, to recover from that, from habitual burnout, could potentially take up to 7 years from research that says that's like the full end. So I understand, and I know the signs of it because I've started to see it myself. But in relation to those levels of 5, I'm picking myself in at around about a 3.5, 3.7 right now. And I don't want to get to that 4, to that burnout stage. And it only dawned on me as I'm delivering this product. The week before, I'm saying, look, I'm feeling a bit stressed. It's only until I'm delivering this product that I'm going, actually, this is my sign. This is where I'm at. And I need to do something about that. And I have spoken to a few people. I've spoken to you. I've spoken to another few DJs. And I'm sort of trying to prioritize me a little bit more. And, and one DJ, I'm not going to mention who it is, told me to write everything down. Write everything down and prioritize what you want to prioritize with everything that you do, and prioritize that. And that is a good starting point. And it was a good starting point for me to actually, one, start putting into context what I'm doing. And you could probably argue, in relation to what I've just talked about in the rundown, is sitting in the car for 4 hours, almost 5 hours, one-way trip down to Cornwall, something good for you. Personally, and everyone is individual, but personally, yes, it was beneficial for me because it allowed me to come into my own space and actually work out whilst driving down there. Trust me, I was concentrating on the road. Don't want to feel that I was, putting anyone in danger. But it allowed me to actually reset a little bit and work out as I was driving down there without any distractions of other bits and pieces going on around my life and everything else and work. I could just concentrate by sitting in the car going, right, I've got to drive from A to B, which I'm going to do. Sat nav's on, I'm just going to go. But actually, I then started to work out what I wanted to do. So that's, I just wanted to be a bit of a context about how I was feeling and what I was going through personally the other week. And then Friday came. So that was on Saturday that happened. I drove down to Truro, so I was able to reset. However, on Friday, when I was getting to this point, I got to my first gig at the weekend on Friday, this party, packed everything into the car, and luckily enough, it was 15 minutes down the road from where I was. I left my house and realised I forgot my USB sticks for my controller. Oh, great, I need them. It's got all my music on. Just turned around, went and got that out. Turned around, went back to the house, grabbed those, went back to the venue. Got into the venue, unloaded everything, started setting up. Halfway through setup, I realised I left my controller at home. And I'm going, like, really? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm not thinking like I normally think. And I'm going, like, what has happened? And like this whole week has progressed in the sense of what I've been teaching people to coming to Friday. I've left my USB with all my songs on. I've even left the said controller, in my office. Not even put that in the car. You know, I was just like, what is going on? And realistically, for me to set up my normal setup takes me around about 50 minutes. Friday took me 2 hours because I've got so much going on up in my head, and it's so. Listen, the long and short of it is I got in the car Saturday, drove to Truro, had a complete reset, thought about priorities, you know, and ultimately this podcast is part of a priority for me. Do I let it go? Like, do I reduce my gigs? Do I do this? Do I do it? There was loads of things that came into the conversation. But part of that was me going, actually, do I need to create more? Like, I'm actually thinking about setting up a DJ only group where we can come together and talk about all these additional shit. And we're not coming together just to talk about DJing and other bits and pieces. It's all the additional stress that goes on around the outsides of it that we need to start talking about better. Because we're just doing so much. And to be fair, the amount of people that reached out to me and went, I feel exactly the same as you're going through. I can feel the stress building up. So, you know, I am thinking about pulling together a group, and I'd love to know what people's thoughts on that. You know, comment on it. Comment it on YouTube, send us a message, whatever you want to do, like feedback if this is something worthwhile doing. But I feel like I even though I'm going through a lot, I feel like I still need to help, and want to put that message out there that, you know, I know some of you are going through that because some of you have messaged me that. So does that mean do I need to create something where we can come together and not talk about, oh, how much I'm putting a selfie pod out for, or what lighting I'm getting next, or have you seen the new controller that's coming? No, this is about us as individuals. This is about the day-to-day life of the stresses that we go under. Like, I could probably imagine if this was my only job, the stress levels would be up. But I'm lucky enough that this is a part-time gig, if you want to put it in that bracket. I don't, you know, I'm not wholly dependent on supporting my family by doing mobile DJing or DJing. But I can imagine some guys out there who this is their only thing, are probably under a lot of pressure. And especially when you start talking about the price gaps here and there, and you know, trying to increase and fight to the bottom because people want the gig and will take it at a lower price. You know, all of these things factor into that stress. I didn't want to bring this podcast down in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think you brought it down. I think what you've done is just highlighted something that not only you know, you've just said that you're not the only one that's going through it. There's people out there going through it, but you know, until somebody makes that first engagement to say, hey, look, this is where I'm at the moment, then that another person will jump on and they'll say, you know what, I'm feeling exactly the same. I thought I was the only person, you know, and that's probably what people are thinking. But now you've come out and you've been honest with your feelings. I think what's happened is that these other people that have been listening to the podcast and watch your social media and all that sort of stuff, they're giving it, you know what, I thought I was the only person going through this, but no, I'm not, because he's going through it. Let me reach out to him, and then you might think of something that he's not thought of, or vice versa. But my question to you, Matt, and it's not that I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea, a well-being group or something like that. But my question to you regarding that is, so I know that you've got a lot of things going on in your life, right? You're so busy. You're like the busiest person I know, right? But by creating another wellness, well-being space, would that not just contribute to your phase 1, phase 2 on your burnout
Well,
chart?
so this is one thing. This is one of the things I was thinking about on the commute that I had, and it was more the fact of actually, if I'm creating that, is that helping me at the same time?
I think it
So,
will help you. I
so
think it will.
it becomes like a double edged. Like I'm creating something that's ultimately going to benefit me.
Yeah. But I
That,
think,
that was my initial thought process. It
yeah,
wasn't a case of, oh, I'm burdening myself with something else. That wasn't
yeah.
how I in my head was gonna think about creating something like this.
Yeah, I think that if if you was to do a group, I mean, we haven't even spoken about this really,
No,
to
we
be
haven't.
fair. But I mean, if it was me, like you've just said, it's going to be a group for people to discuss how they're feeling, anxiety, depression, all of that sort of stuff. Not about your DJ equipment. I've got this gig, I've got that. We don't want that. You
It's
don't want
not.
that in
It's
this group.
no.
You know.
My whole thought around this is one. I do quite a bit of work in this space first and foremost, right,
Mhm.
with my normal work. But secondly, it was more of a case of being able to be there. We work. Listen, the majority of the DJs, mobile DJs, I'm sort of speaking to directly at this moment in time. The majority of us work alone. You take on all of that stress, you take on all of the burden of trying to deliver something to a high standard for a customer. So you all of this stress is going on, and I think what I'm trying to achieve or trying to put out there with this potential new thing is that it gives us a space where we can talk about the stresses, how you dealt with it, and how you got through that to then go, actually, I feel better now. I can now I can now do something in a different way
Yeah.
that I'm not having to climb an even bigger mountain. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I'm not. Trust me. I don't have all the answers.
No, you know what? I mean,
I think having a soundboard of a group
Mhm.
that you can come into, you can come in, you can in out, you can do whatever you want with it. Like to be honest, this is still very very fresh,
Yeah.
and I've not really given it a huge amount, but this is something that I'm quite passionate about getting up and running.
Okay. I think it goes back. I mean, we've mentioned this on a podcast before. I was doing a gig, and we've had him on as a guest before, Josh Ford.
Yeah,
And I know he doesn't mind me mentioning his name because I've spoken to him about it. But he was suffering big time one night at a party, and all he needed was someone just to message him every now and then, just to say, "How you getting on? Right, that's another hour gone." You know,
yeah,
obviously each situation's different, but this particular situation, he was just having a bad night. He's just feeling anxious um and nervous and everything, and like, but he got through it. He got through it. And it was just because someone had, like, reached out and said, like, "Hey, yeah, mate, don't worry, it's good." We've all been there.
yeah.
And I think that if you've got a safe space which you want to create, where, because there's no judgment, no judgments passed, because
Listen, I'm almost 50 years of age, and I'm sitting in here telling you exactly how I feel.
yeah, exactly.
Like I've been totally honest about the whole thing,
Mhm,
the whole situation, about how I've felt
mhm.
and how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And everyone suffers with stress in a different way.
Yeah,
What I don't want people to do is get to the point of they're completely burnt out, and then it gets into that habitual stage of burnout where emotional strain is become that much, you fall ill,
yeah,
and from that to recover, research has shown to recover from habitual burnout, and every person is slightly different. but on average, it's taking people 7 years to get back to where they were. That is absolutely like you've got. If you don't recognize the signs, this is a space where, and I started to see it, but it wasn't until I'm standing up in front of people delivering this. I actually said, right, I'm just going to stop you there. In fact, I'm gonna share with the group. I'm telling you now, I'm at 3.5. I said, has anyone seen any signs in relation to what I've just described in yourself from those 5 stages? Because I said, I can tell you now, me personally, right now, I'm at 3.5. I don't want to get to 4. I don't want to get to burnout. And I don't even want to beyond that point. And it's about recognizing that. And you can only do that by talking through what you've gone through.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, this is just going to be a talking shop, but I don't want it to be related to DJing. I don't want it to be relating to, oh, did you hear James Hype's new track? Or, what? No, this is not what this is about.
Yeah, I
this is about us and our well-being and us being in a position to go out and deliver.
Yeah.
And the more and more we do things, sorry, mate, the more and more we do of this and our job, we are just going to keep knocking away. And I don't want people to be in that bracket where they're hitting 3.5, 4. I don't want people to be there.
I mean, I would say set the group up, put the rules down, say, listen, this is not for this, and this. And you might find that it will be a self-managed group anyway, because we are all busy doing our own things, family, main jobs, gigging, this and that. So it is quite possible that you're not gonna see that particular thing in there, but somebody else will pick up on it. They might be working.
I'm open to suggestions.
Definitely.
I don't want to bang on about it, but because we got better things to be talking about. I'd say not better things to talk about, but I don't want to bring the podcast down. But I just wanted to highlight it because people had reached out to me. I haven't been in a great space, and I think it's about I've recognised that, and because I've recognised it, I've reprioritized. I've started to look at certain bits and pieces, and I'm now at this point going, actually, because of the feedback that I got from people when they reached out to me, a lot of you are feeling the same way that what I'm going through, or have been going through, and we need to come together as a community. And we talk about the DJ community, and we're here to help each other. Well, this is what I want to do. So let me know in the comments. Reach out to either me or John and go, this is a really good idea. Should it be face-to-face? Is it a mixture of face-to-face, online? Is it just a WhatsApp group community where you can use voice notes? Or is it a case of we come together and work out, okay, yeah, I've got a gig on Saturday, you got a gig on Saturday, well, I'm going to be on the road for 2 hours, so you can give me a call between this time. All of that sort of stuff. I think that's what we need to be doing.
Let's get the ball rolling with it then. Let's get some feedback and some comments from our listeners and everything. See what their thoughts are on it, and I'm more than happy to help you out with that one, and I'll support it 100%.
Right. Well, let's see where we get from that. But anyway, John, I need a break. That means one thing.
What does that mean?
I'll see you
after the break.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry.
Come on, word.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, that red light means that we're on. We're live.
Yeah, sorry. Well, it's so far away, I can't see it. I can see it's red. Right. I can't read it.
Welcome back, John. So listen, following on from my disaster of my disaster prep work, let's call it prep work, that I didn't do in the sense of my gig on Friday. After one, I left my USB with all my tracks on. Secondly, I left the controller behind.
Not even
And
important things, really, to be fair. I don't know why we're having this conversation.
And actually, the third one, it wasn't until the Friday of the gig when I was driving back from Birmingham on Friday after work that I realised that they'd booked the selfie pod that evening,
As well.
and I hadn't done any prep on getting the selfie pod ready to get out for that night as well. So yeah, prep is important.
Yeah.
Other things obviously clouded my preparation. So, question I'm going to pose to you then, John.
Go on.
Luckily enough, I was 15 minutes down the road and not 4 hours and 55 minutes down the road like I was on Saturday.
Quite handy, to be fair.
Was the worst thing that you've left behind at a gig or left behind before getting the gig?
So, to be fair, it was, well, I've had a couple. The first one was my laptop, and I thought it was going to a silent disco. I think it was going to Reading, I think. I can't remember where we were going. I got 20 minutes down the road, realised I ain't got my laptop. So I turned around, went home and got the laptop, and the missus said to me, "What's that big black thing in the hallway?" "That's my controller." So I'd forgotten both of them. So I went back to get them. But the other one, you were saying about a selfie pod, got to the venue and setting up the selfie pod, and I'm like, I've left the iPad at home. And it's like, the whole thing about the selfie pod is the iPad, and it's just like, I don't believe this. So I literally set everything else up, luckily I was only 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
I put a pre-mix on playing music. I said, I'm going to be 15 minutes. I've got to go and get it, because otherwise I'm going to have to give them a refund.
Can't do that.
No, I've already spent the money.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. So
can't give money back to the customer.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, in the end, it did all work out. But I mean, do you have a in your head? Do you have like a list? Right, this is my setup. Right, and this, that, and the other. Because I know you don't have a lot. I have a locker. I have a big yellow locker.
You do?
I do.
With sweets in it.
Yeah, there's still some sweets in there, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
So I know that when I load up my trolley, I know roughly how I'm going to have my thing set up. So I load the trolley up, and then I look in my locker and I'll give it, right, I don't need that. I definitely don't need that. And that's how I work it. And then I think, right, already in the car, I've got this, and this. And at home, I know my laptop's at home or whatever. So I know I've got everything. The one thing I always seem to forget is my shirt. Now,
to be honest, that's like, if you're forgetting a shirt, well, it is what it is.
So I go in like my DJ Entertainment t-shirt, and I set everything up.
Yeah, nice.
Well, no, a branded. Okay, let's use the word branded t-shirt.
Well, no, it's too late now. You've just plugged yourself,
mate. You're like the chief of editing, mate. So
yeah, no, I'll keep it in. I just out of curiosity of people going, oh, look at him plugging his own thing. You never hear DJ Matty F plug his own.
No, you never hear anybody plugging DJ Matty F events, do you? I've never heard that ever.
Oh, thanks for doing that.
But no, it's and then I normally, once I'm set up and everything in the car, I've got like deodorant, aftershave, and all that, and I normally go and I get changed. And it's one thing I tend to forget more than anything is actually my change of shirt.
Clothes.
Yeah, the COVID side of it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the worst thing. But I when I'm loading up my trolley and then loading up my car, because I load my car, you must load your car in a certain way so it all fits.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
So if you've got a big space in your,
I can only do it one way.
Oh right. So when you're loading your car and you think, I seem to have a lot of space there. What's missing? You must have, obviously you didn't, because obviously.
And trust me, and not this time around, but trust me, the AZ is very big.
Yeah, I'm very surprised how big that is next to my Prime, because I thought my Prime 4 was massive.
Do you know what it was? What I didn't really think about it space-wise is because you did me a solid and lent me your neon sticks again. So because of that went in.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the car going, oh, it's full.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Got on the old blower. All right, darling.
Love you.
You haven't had a drink, have you? You didn't go and do us a favour, could you just run down and bring me? And she did. She brought it down.
There's no good me ringing up my missus and saying, listen, I've left the USBs on the side. Can you drop them down to me? She wouldn't have. No, that wouldn't happen.
Okay.
I could be like 8 hours away, or I could be on a plane. I'll say, look, you get a free holiday to Vegas if you bring them out to me or whatever. That wouldn't happen.
No.
I'm not that lucky.
Oh, yeah, well, I was.
You was, mate.
But yeah, I've been interesting to know. I know we're asking people to comment a lot tonight on this week's pod, but let us know in the comments one thing, at least one thing that you've left behind that you really needed. I'll make the point of going for the production team this weekend when we went to Truro. We had a cable issue in the sense of the haze machine they use, quite a big one. The power connector into this haze machine is the weirdest power connector. It's not like you can get them anywhere. It's not like you can go and get them at Tesco's or it's the weirdest connection point in the world. It's got like 7 pins, but like 2 of them are really large, or 3 of them are really large, and 4 aren't. It's just weird. Anyway, they didn't have it, so we're like, oh, we got laser, no haze, need haze.
I can't have a laser without haze.
Like, there's no point doing it.
No.
So they phoned up a few local establishments, club wise, bar wise, in the area to see if they had this cable, and one did.
Oh, nice!
So they managed to get it.
Lovely.
Yeah, and we managed to put on the haze and the laser for the evening. But yeah,
I'll tell you another thing. Right, talking about prep. Right, I don't know. I use a wireless microphone that takes AA batteries.
Yep.
Now, I know that I've always got batteries in my laptop bag. Batteries in my laptop bag. But now, sometimes I'm going to go out stand alone. I don't take my laptop with me, right? So I've actually now started putting a set of batteries also in my microphone box.
There you go.
So batteries, that's another thing.
I always keep my batteries in my microphone bag.
Do you?
Yeah. Side pocket.
Yeah. Well, I've just started doing that now.
Let us know in the comments what was the biggest thing you've left behind that you really, really needed for one of your gigs. Be interesting to know. So we're asking you to comment a lot tonight.
We are. I mean, not so much about prep, but when you get to a gig and something doesn't work.
Yeah.
How'd you get around that?
Depends what doesn't work.
So
if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So, you can't get something. So, like with me, I was having an issue with my lighting at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, what I tend to find happen with me, I go straight away, see red mist, start panicking, it ain't working, get stressed out, and I go outside for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then I go back.
Come into my support group.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I'll go there and no, it ain't working. I'll get stressed out and I'll start texting people. This isn't working. So now I go outside, I have a little drink or whatever, and I'll go back inside.
A little drink. What? Little drink.
No, I only like water and things like that. I'm always driving, so I don't really drink, to be fair.
I didn't mean it like that. It was just the fact that you just went, I'll go out for a little drink. No, you don't. You go out and vape as hard as you possibly can.
Have you ever seen me vape on this podcast?
No, because you do the correct thing, because I tell you not to vape on this podcast.
You've never told me not to vape.
No, listen.
No, you haven't.
Colley,
no, you haven't.
Colley,
Fletcher.
Don't start.
Fletcher, I'm telling you.
Right. Listen, you don't want to go down this road, Colley. Honestly, I'm telling you.
I don't believe you've ever told me not to vape.
I don't
believe that.
We've had a few phone calls.
Phone calls?
About you vaping.
What, on the podcast?
Just in general.
In general?
Yes.
Vaping? What, even at a gig?
No.
When then?
When we're on the... Right, okay. Audience, listening in. There's nothing worse when you're talking to someone on the phone and the next thing you hear...
Yeah.
Like, literally, it blows my eardrum out every time you do that on the... See, look, now it's getting personal, Colley. We're supposed to be friends, and I'm now airing the dirty laundry that is our relationship on the podcast.
I don't do that much anymore. To be fair,
Exactly.
I know what I tend to do now is I put you on loudspeaker so the world can hear you.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. Great. Right. Okay. Enough. What were we talking about?
You know what? I can't actually remember.
What, if you have left anything behind, or no, before you've got to your gig, if anything has disastrously gone wrong before the gig that you've forgotten, etc., drop in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, we dragged that out.
That was funny though. To be
I'm
fair.
throwing in another little break. Right
after the break.
So, Johnny boy.
Yes.
What a week. What a podcast, actually, to be honest.
You know what? I mean, I enjoy all the podcasts. I won't lie. I do enjoy all of them. It's nice to talk to you and this and the other.
Nice.
But today's, we've done like, the down and dirty, serious stuff. And then we brought it right up and we had a bit of a giggle and a chuckle and it was great. You know, it's great.
Any opportunity to air our dirty laundry in the public? Yeah, why not? Let's go with it.
Why not, man? Why not?
Let's throw it out there. Anyway, John, what you got coming up this week, mate?
So Thursday, I have a school disco, but it's outdoors.
Oh,
an outdoor one. So I have been watching the weather forecast.
It's gonna be great this week.
It is. It's like 24 degrees.
Yeah.
So I've had to call in a little bit of help from a friend of ours, Sean Smythe.
Yeah.
He's lending me a PA system for outside.
Good lad.
Now I have heard this PA system, and wow, I can still feel it in my chest now. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So he's very kindly lending that to me. I've just got to sort out the logistics for that. It's only a 2-hour gig out on the school field. And the last couple of years that we've done it, we've had the neighbours around the outside of the school fence sort of watching in and joining in. And they're joining in because when you do We Will Rock You, they're all there clapping their hands. And then I'll get on the mic and give it on the street. Let me see. It's good fun. And then on Friday, I've got a corporate do, which is the Beresford's Estate Agents Annual Award Ceremony, which I do every year as well.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. What's that, bro? That drum roll. Have you got a button for a drum roll?
Doctor, I need my medication.
Yeah, innit?
Yeah, I got a drum roll. Yeah, I got a drum roll button.
Yeah, come on.
Hold on. That's the best one. Oh, that was a bit disappointing.
That wasn't.
Yeah. Okay, so that's you Friday and Saturday.
Thursday and Friday, and I've got Saturday off.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, what about yourself?
I've just got a birthday party on Saturday.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Saturday or Friday? Oh god.
There you go. So you don't use your Studio Ninja?
I do.
You know what? That's who we should get on our podcast, Studio Ninja. Get Chris from Australia on. Say to him, listen, Chris.
Right, what is my 14th? What day is the 14th, dude?
14th is this Saturday, my friend.
See, you see, you doubted me. Yes.
Why did I doubt you?
Because you went, really? I said I've got a gig on Saturday.
No, you said then you went straight after. You went, is it Friday or is it Saturday? Oh, I don't know. Right. Oh, now you've got me questioning myself.
I was right first time around. Yeah, I got a gig Saturday, birthday party.
Is that adult birthday party?
No, 13th, I think. 13th party.
Got the selfie pod?
Selfie pod's been rocked out. 2 weeks on the bounce.
Love that. 2
weeks on the bounce, yeah. This is all good.
I'd like to have mine out every week.
Really? Every week?
Well, every time I've got a party, I'd love it. I'd love for customers to say, yeah, I'll have that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I like the selfie pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's fine.
All good. Yeah, so it's another good week. It's another great week. Yeah, another great week ahead.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Do you know what?
Go on.
3 weeks' time, I'm on another holiday.
Oh, yeah. Another one?
Yeah. Going away again.
Have you ever thought the reason you're so stressed is because you have to deal with so many holidays? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, so we need to plan ahead. We need to plan ahead when we're doing recordings.
Yeah, okay.
I might record in Croatia.
Is that where you're going this time, Croatia?
Might do it on the rooftop of the villa that I've got.
Okay. Golf course, villa. See who earns the money, guys, can't you? See who earns the money.
Anyway, on that note, it's been wonderful listening to you, John, tonight. Thank you for entertaining the DJ community in the only way you know best.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Never a chore.
Yeah, exactly. It's never a chore. It's just hard work. But anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for dropping in. Look, I know, apologies to everyone if you felt it was a little bit serious at the start of the pod. I just felt I needed to air that. Let us know in the comments your thoughts about what I said. And also let us know in the comments about, all the disaster stuff that you've left behind before going and doing a gig. Be nice to know that as well. As always, you can find us on YouTube and Spotify for video, but on all podcast providers if you would just want to listen to the audio of us rambling on. It's there for your pleasure.
Yeah,
we're all about giving. John's not a receiver.
Oh, no.
He's a giver.
Well, sharing is caring. I'll go down that road.
I don't even know which road we're going down. Anyway, thanks for listening in. Thanks for joining. My name's DJ Matty F. His name's DJ John Colley. This is the Groove Junction. We will see you same time, same place next week. See you later, John.
See you later. Be safe. Be lucky.